What up? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And look at you. You done stumbled upon little OTB Saints, where we bring you all the latest black and gold coverage.
Who are the Saints going to draft? Who's going to be their quarterback? What does the salary cap look like? All that information and more.
Hope you enjoy it. Like, subscribe.
I certainly want to get to some of the other picks the Saints had in this draft. Kool-Aid McKinstry is their second-round choice. They trade up from 45 to 41 to get him. Now, you can look at the Saints depth chart, and I did this whenever they made the pick in Detroit. Not necessarily the biggest position of need, because we know you got Paulson Adebo, you've got Alontae Taylor, you've got Marshon Lattimore. Now, what is that relationship with Marshon Lattimore and the New Orleans Saints? That's something we don't know. We can speculate. It doesn't look great. On the surface, it doesn't look great. If you're reading between the lines, it doesn't look great. But he's still a Saint. He has not been traded. The draft is over. Marshon Lattimore is still a New Orleans Saint. So you go get a player in Kool-Aid McKinstry who is going to be fighting for playing time. Again, love the player, questioning the fit just right now. Not even necessarily the fit as far as the schematics of what the Saints want to do on defense, but the playing time portion of it. Because I thought Paulson Adebo and I thought Alontae Taylor actually took strides in the right direction. We know what Marshon Lattimore is. Now, Marshon Lattimore, over the last couple of years, has been injury-prone. So that's something certainly to pay attention to. But this is a player in Kool-Aid McKinstry that had a great college career. Now, Terrion Arnold ended up passing him up as far as draft stock. That's not something we had before the season, but still, you look on ESPN.com, you look at their power rankings of players. He was 27th overall, and you were able to get him at 41. So there is some value there. So, Taylor, you take a look at a pick like this, kind of right now, a luxury pick. You go get maybe – you don't even want to say best player available, because I did the draft with a former GM, Mark Dominic, and I said, you don't trade up to get best available. Best available means that player's there when you're picking at 45 and you select him. He said, exactly. He said, so there's something going on. There's something that the Saints know. Obviously, it's not public yet. And that's why they go get a corner at 41.
Yeah, I think, like you mentioned, like this very much puts into question the future of Marshon Lattimore. They obviously know something we don't, because like trading up to get him in the second round was the biggest surprise to me. And then when you look at the roster, like you mentioned, this is a luxury pick. This is not a need. Even without Lattimore, you have Alontae Taylor, you have Adebo. You really needed safety more than you did corner, which is where I thought they were going to go. And then it was surprising because it was like, hey, you need another receiver. You need some pass rushers at defensive tackle. You don't have another pick until the fifth round. They wound up not trading back up into the third or the fourth. So, like, you know, to use this pick on a cornerback, like they obviously know something's going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, and it can be a future pick, obviously, for, you know, you got a couple of guys that are going to be up next year at that position. But again, kind of like we talked about, I mean, certainly not in the same way the Falcons when they select Penix, but like, you look ahead and you start to plan. It just feels like the Saints, their roster, they don't have the luxury of looking ahead right now, right? They've certainly got some holes that they needed to fill within this draft, and they did that in some ways. They did it at tackle. I think when you look at a couple of other positions, they selected a player that's going to help them right now. Like, again, this is a really good football player that's going to play, it feels like, a long time in the NFL, and you have some value. You get him at 41. He was a top 30 player, but I'm wondering how that pecking order of rotation is going to play out. The Saints also, a draft pick we're going to talk about here probably a lot at the end of hour number one. They select Spencer Rattler out of South Carolina, and we actually had a chance to catch up with Spencer Rattler at the Senior Bowl down in Mobile, and we're going to play that probably at the end of this hour. Look, this is a pick that makes sense to me, and you could say, well, wait a minute. You just said we didn't need a corner and we didn't need a quarterback. We got like 17 quarterbacks in the quarterback room. You have a bad quarterback room just because you got players. Like, the corner room is good. Paulson Adebo, Alontae Taylor, Marshon Lattimore. That's a good room. The quarterback room is not a good one. I mean, you've got guys like Kellen Mond, who was throwing at the combine this year to rookies. No disrespect to that. He found a way to get a showcase and he got a contract, but that's what he was doing. Nathan Peterman, don't really have to add on to that. Nathan Peterman. You look at some of the other quarterbacks, Jake Haener. We don't know what Jake Haener is, right? You select him in the fourth round last year. And then we've certainly talked about Derek Carr here. So you have a chance to add a quarterback that at one point in his college career was talked about being a solid first rounder. You get a quarterback that got a little humbled, right? And he'll tell you that throughout his college career. He's a talented quarterback. I know he's not the physical freak. He's not 6'4", 6'5", whatever. He's 6 foot tall and ran a 5 flat. Everybody wants to talk about that. I understand that portion of it. But as far as arm talent, Spencer Rattler has a ton, and he's got some upside still as well. Again, this is a player that his power ranking, he was rated 98th. He was the 7th best quarterback. There were 6 quarterbacks taken in the first 13 picks, right? So you got the guy right after one of those guys that went in the first round in the 5th round, according to a lot of people, not just ESPN.com. You look at Bleacher Report, you look at all these people, right? I sat next to a GM for the first, second, and third round. And so, like, this is a player that is top 100 player talent, and you get him in the 5th round. Taylor, when I look at this quarterback room, I'm not going to hate on this pick because, to me, he instantly becomes probably the second most talented player and with the potential to be maybe the most talented player in the room.
Yeah, I mean, he's battling for a QB2 spot like day one, right? Because, yeah, you have, 5 quarterbacks on the roster now, but outside of Derek Carr, you have Jake Haener, who's unproven, Nathan Peterman, which we know what he is and ain't very good. Then you sign Kellen Mond as well. Like, I love this pick. And again, when you were saying, oh, well, people are going to say, hey, you drafted a corner. That was a luxury position as well. Yeah, but you traded up in the 2nd round to get that. You got Spencer Rattler in round 5. This was a guy 2 years ago before Caleb Williams beat it out of Oklahoma that everybody was like, hey, this guy is a future first-round pick. We've seen the talent. It was the North Carolina game last year, the first game of the season. Look, they lose that game, they get smoked. He had no offensive line. He was under pressure the entire time. And he goes 30 of 37. Like, he weathered the storm. He was able to bounce back. He showed composure in that game. And y'all talked about it at the Senior Bowl. Like, hey, if you had a better offensive line, like, you'd had like a 25% bump in production. Like, I think he's a talented player.
Wow, just amazing black and gold takes right there, Jake.
I don't think I've ever heard any takes that are better than the 2 guys that just gave you that take.
And you can keep getting them by going ahead and liking, subscribing, ringing the bell to get notifications when we post. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next OTB Saints.